Ebusiafo aha Ghanatube so ensem a ekoso ewo Ghana four corners ni gina no eno na channel we de ebro matenase fefefe mekwako medensem aba ebusiafo entempa ni dimechi na yenkotie ensem bia ekoso ewo omanyi.
President John Dramani Mahama is appealing to global vaccine manufacturers to partner government in establishing a Ghana vaccine manufacturing hub. Speaking at an engagement with pharmaceutical industry players at the WHX Leaders Conference in Accra, President Mahama said strengthening local vaccine production is crucial for health security on the continent to support economic growth. There's more in this report.
According to President John Dramani Mahama, the proposed hub will not only enhance Ghana's capacity to produce vaccines locally, but will also strengthen the region's preparedness for future health emergencies. President Mahama added that Ghana's existing pharmaceutical capacity, coupled with its strategic position within West Africa, places the country in a strong position to lead vaccine development and distribution on the continent.
Crucially, Ghana is inviting private sector partners, and this is what I was talking about, into strategic PPPs to expand diagnostic imaging, laboratory network, and specialized services nationwide. These three pillars are not isolated programs. They form the backbone of Ghana's health transformation agenda and our contribution to the broader African sovereign health ecosystem. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, Africa seeks a new paradigm of partnership, one that is defined not by dependency, but by co-investment, innovation, and shared values. So we call on vaccine manufacturers to partner with us to build African vaccine production hubs. We call on pharmaceutical companies to expand into biologics, generics, and essential medicine manufacturing in Africa.
Meanwhile, Minister for Trade and Industry Elizabeth Ofosue-Jare revealed the ministry is engaging the Africa Continental Free Trade Area Secretariat to ensure seamless intra-African trade, particularly for pharmaceutical products, once local vaccine production begins.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, you will agree with me that infrastructure alone cannot deliver this revolution. That is why we are investing in human capital, training scientists, engineers, and innovators who will power this industry. My colleague Minister for Health is championing public-private partnership, unlocking financing, and embracing technology transfer to accelerate progress in the sector. And as Minister for Trade, Agribusiness and Industry, we are thinking beyond borders. Through the Africa Continental Free Trade Area, Ghana is positioning itself as a regional hub, the gateway for health products made in Africa, for Africa, and for the world.
On that spot, President for the Middle East, India, Turkey, and Africa at informal market, Peter Hall, highlighted the importance of platforms like the WHS Leaders Conference.
100%. I mean, this whole focus of this event is about action and about conversations that actually lead to impact. So at the end of this two-day event, there'll be a session talking about the outcomes from these meetings, these bilateral meetings that will happen off-site. So the conference is here, but there's multiple meeting rooms upstairs and to the left of us outside these doors, where private meetings will be taking place, forming partnerships to really make an impact on the health system here. So we definitely want to see announcements coming out over the coming days, and we expect to see those over due course.
The WHS Leaders Conference brought together policymakers, global health experts, investors, and pharmaceutical companies to discuss innovations in health systems, industrial transformation, and Africa's preparedness for future global shocks.
Economist Professor Patrick Esuming has welcomed the Bank of Ghana's decision to scale back its liquidity mopping program in 2026, provided exchange rate pressures and inflation remain under control. According to him, the success of this policy shift hinges on the BOG's ability to maintain inflation within its target and stabilize the Ghanaian cedi. He noted that if implemented effectively, the move could boost investor confidence, stimulate economic activity, and support the country's development agenda. He spoke to Joy Business.
It appears that the central bank has had a fair amount of control over the currency, the exchange rate. primarily supported by the fact that the reserve position has been very, very strong. You know, the inflation, the exchange rates, the currency depreciation contributes substantially to the inflation. So once you have that a little under control, we are not seeing the kind of wild swings that we used to see in the past. I think that helps. And I think if you look at from the last MPC meeting, you look at where the inflation has gone to, and even since then, we've seen that we've come even further lower than where we used to be. And it's not just that, you also see inflation expectations are trending down. So I think at the moment, there's a feeling that perhaps the concern on inflation is sufficiently subsided. But I think we should also take note that the conditions could change. But I think the right signal that was sent is that we are not just going to do this gung-ho. If we see that, you know, there's some instability on the currency front, then they will hold on to it. So I think it's sending the right signal that at the moment things are trending towards a little bit more control over the inflation. So it's now time to do a little bit more easing to support businesses in the country.
Government has reaffirmed its commitment to national data reform. Deputy Minister of Finance Thomas Nyaku Ampem, speaking at the Ghana Statistical Service Annual Forum for Data Producers, announced a 209 million cedis allocation to the 2026 budget, or in the 2026 budget, to the Ghana Statistical Service operations, underscoring data's central role in transparency, efficient spending, and targeted economic growth.
At the Ghana Statistical Service Annual Forum for Data Producers, Government Statistician Dr. Hassan Idrisi says the forum marks a historic step towards strengthening Ghana's statistical system, attracting policymakers, civil society, researchers, and development partners. He revealed plans for a multi-year financing compact, accelerated skill development in statistics and AI, stronger administrative data systems, and an expanded culture of data use across public and private institutions.
We believe strongly that the development that we are all chasing, that we want to improve the living conditions of the people of Ghana, want to develop Ghana, etc., cannot be achieved if we don't have right data, if you don't have credible data, if you don't have data that will produce timely, if you don't have accurate data to underpin the decision-making process that will lead to that development. And it's not just the production of data, we are also emphasizing the use of data. And that's why in the title of the forum, we say data produces, uses, and enhances.
In a keynote delivered on behalf of Finance Minister Dr. Kisel Atuforsen, Deputy Finance Minister Honorable Thomas Ampem Nyaku reaffirmed government commitment to national data reform, announcing a 209 million Ghana cedis allocation in the 2026 budget for key statistical operations.
Credible data is not optional. It is indispensable. It is the foundation on which resilient nations are built, and we know that data exposes inequalities that would otherwise remain concealed. Government is moving purposefully from donor-reliant financing arrangements towards a model grounded in national ownership and sustainable investment. I'm proud to reiterate that 2026 budget allocates 209 million Ghana cedis to advance critical operations.
Madam Asapa Samudi Mechi Emaikotie and Semno with me an opportunity to share views on the issues at our comment section. Now you better break again kind Nina Eddie Amorphe as my message Musono Mema Owe Fisel Obe subscribe. Now I hit the notification link in the so Eddie Amorphe after so Mema Owe Fisel Obe share Nefefe. I was for aha. Ghanatube send them the Modofo snow, Minam Tenase, Eden, the Bremo, Sisi Adi, Macamo.